So hello everyone, thanks for joining us. My name is Brian Duffy, I'm the CEO of Watches of Switzerland. We are the leading retailer of luxury Swiss watches here in the UK, and thank you very much for joining us. I and my colleagues are just back from Geneva. We arrived back late last night. We were in Geneva at the SIHH watch fair, one of the two major fairs that happen in Switzerland every year. And we are going to bring you, my colleagues in particular, their expert take on everything that we've saw. A very exciting few days that we had together in Geneva. Getting on to our first brand and our first range of products, one of the most influential brands in the world of luxury Swiss watches is Audemars Piguet, and it was one of the first brands that we saw this week. The brand of Audemars Piguet, founded by two young men, Audemars and Piguet, back in 1875. So Audemars is very much famous for innovation, both technical and aesthetic, and didn't disappoint us at all in those regards. So the first thing that we saw, Mark, was this amazing new concept watch.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, it's typically wonderfully AP. It's a sort of marriage of their history with the blue tapisserie dial in the royal oak case, but it's an ultra thin, ultra modern perpetual calendar, the thinnest perpetual calendar movement in the world in an automatic. And it's a concept at this stage, but I guess they'll roll parts of that technology out into future models, but great AP.
I had the pleasure of trying it on. It really is spectacular on the wrist, and very typical from Audemars. Famous for technical innovation, famous also for aesthetic and style, and when we talked to the CEO, which we'll mention later, he did say with this next watch they had a bit of fun, Dave.
The AP Camouflage was the teaser that AP put out before the fair, and it's been the one watch I've had the most call for. It's got a steel case, green ceramic bezel, really cool, like khaki, like ivory kind of dial, and obviously the camouflage strap. It's £26,100 and it will be available from June. Really cool watch.
Very much trendy, and very much, if you're confident about how you look, this is a watch for you, right?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that day.
And Audemars doing a great deal, having a great deal of success with women's watches as well, with their iconic shape of the royal oak. And I know you were taken by these, Faye.
Absolutely, the offshore I've always liked, and this didn't disappoint us at all. The traditional dial that both gentlemen have referenced, so I won't do it again, there's been some slight changes here, which is what's really interesting, but it doesn't take away from the beauty of the watch. Rose gold, diamonds, it's on a grey strap, really fresh and fun for the summer, and a great price point, albeit it's just under £40,000, but it's a fantastic watch.
And one you'd no doubt put on your list.
Very happily.
And the last one that we saw, really bright and eye-catching.
Yeah. Just like yourself, and also when I saw it, obviously had bright Glasgow Rangers colours as well. The indigo steel case, £21,600, available from June. Lovely.
Yep. Beautiful watches, and Audemars again, not disappointing in any way. Technical innovations, fun, and pushing the edge on everything. I also had a great pleasure on Tuesday morning to have an interview and a visit with a very influential person in the world of watches, the CEO of Audemars Piguet, Francois-Henri Bennahmias. Let's see what Francois had to say. The company is still owned by the descendants of these two remarkable young men. Does that stability and consistency of ownership help you do your amazing job?
Yes, it absolutely does. It does for several reasons. Because at the end, the message from 1875 until now has not changed much. And the will and the fight that we fight every day with the company is to make sure that when we are 25 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, we'll still have Audemars and Piguet people at the board of directors. Yep. With the same motto, which is the spirit of independence, the fact that we are in charge of our own destiny. We want to do things the way we want. We don't to have any obligations to live our life in a different way, and I think that helps a lot.
I'm very envious, actually. 25th anniversary of the Royal Oak offshore, one of the most iconic designs and influential watches, I think, in the entire industry. So what innovations and novelties do you have for us this year in 2018?
So first of all, a re-edition of the watch from 1993, yes, with little few changes for today's world. We made the watch better, but it's the same overall look. And then 2 major limited editions of 50 watches each, 50 watches in rose gold and 50 watches in stainless steel. Both are chrono tourbillon skeleton with a complete different architecture that compared to what we've ever made in the history of the company.
And Audemars, equally famous for the movement, for the technical aspects, the quality of the movement, and for the aesthetic. Do you find it difficult to balance these 2 directions?
Always. It's very difficult to balance this because sometimes you've got an idea of a mechanism, it's not going to fit perfectly on the watch, on the case.
Yep.
So you have to adjust the case, then the movement, and the movement, and the case. And it's a never-ending story. What shows that even more this year is our RD2. RD2 is a concept theory right now. We are coming with the thinnest ever made perpetual calendar automatic. And when I say we broke the record, we didn't break the record by half a second. We broke the record by 2 seconds if it was a 100 meters race. So it's a new way of looking at putting mechanisms together. That's going to open many more doors for high-end watchmaking, and we're extremely proud of the result.
The next great brand that we saw, also famous for style and innovation and technical developments, was Panerai. Panerai, originally an Italian brand and very much still with an Italian spirit in terms of its design and aesthetic, but all watches Swiss-made, as they have been in Panerai for a lot of its history. Panerai famous for doing watches for the military and the naval. Some really interesting developments, and the thing that makes it all happen, Dave, the watch movement with Panerai.
Yeah, a commercial move by Panerai because they've introduced their own in-house caliber, which is a 3-day power reserve, into some of their base models. So they're able to bring down the entry point, price point into the brand. So that will certainly appeal to a lot of clientele.
And Faye, I know this was top of your list.
It was actually. What was interesting here, in addition to the movement that David's already referenced, is it's a brand new case size, 38mm for the brand. So that was really exciting. So it can appeal to ladies that like big watches. Not that you couldn't wear a Panerai before, but they are big cases. So the Duet that we see here at 5,100 on a grey dial, so ardoise or anthracite, I think is what they're calling it, and a fantastic mint green strap. Doesn't look, actually, unfortunately the pictures don't do it that much justice, but when we put it on and tried it at the fair, it felt instantly Italian, exactly as you referenced in terms of their history, really European, and at £5,100 this is going to be a great watch, and it was my favourite.
And we really came away feeling that Panerai, that's going to be a great year for Panerai with the movements that they've made here. And as you see, this is very much a watch that you have to see and actually try on to appreciate how really cool it is.
Yeah, Panerai have got a very distinctive look between the 2 collections, so bringing in some coloured straps and moving in that direction just freshens it up or gives it an opportunity to have your own identity.
Yes.
So yeah, we were really impressed with this.
And Dave, I know you love this rose gold.
The colours worked really well, red gold, black dial, black strap. This is called the Fu watch, which is a Chinese word for prosperity. You also told me that it was French for mad, is that right?
Yes, it's a bit of both.
Okay,
yep.
So you'd be mad not to buy this, it would make you very prosperous. But it's 38mm, it's £13,400, and it's coming out in just before the start of the summer. Really good looking watch.
And Mark, I know you loved this beautiful technical development of the skeletonized watch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the PAM 767. It's a beautiful architectural movement, really, when you look at it. I think there's 277 parts in there, and it's a 6-day power reserve, tourbillon, titanium case, GMT, virtually does everything, and I think it's about £121,300, and I think it's due fairly soon out, I think May. So an incredible technical innovation from Panerai, amazing.
So as I said earlier, we think it's going to be a big year for Panerai, and some really interesting and really pleasant surprises from the range that we saw. Just to give you an idea too of what goes on at SIHH, we sent our crew around to take a few shots of what was happening.
This is about watches and high quality watches, haute horlogerie. This is where it happens. So we are shopping for the collection for the whole year for our shop in Holland. It's all about beautiful watches, daring things, daring partnerships, and complications.
It's the first event of the year. It gives you the idea of the watches of the year. What are the main complications that the brands are working on. And it gives you the trends of the market.
Luxury.
Yeah, I think it's the most beautiful fair about luxury in the world.
Next brand, Vacheron Constantin, one of the oldest and founding brands really of Swiss watches, founded back in 1755. A real Genevoise brand as well, always manufactured in the home of Swiss watchmaking, which is Geneva. Very much known for classic, elegant, beautiful timepieces, but we've seen them take a really interesting direction with the collection that we saw this year, Faye.
The 56 was shown to us this year and we were really impressed with this collection. The brand introduced a brand new pillar which we haven't seen with any of the others this year. So it changes their entry price point. It now comes in at 10,500. And what they have wanted to do, and I've got no doubt that they'll achieve it this year, is appeal to a wider audience, people that want to buy into the brand, the credibility and the history of Vacheron. It's a great price point, and some of the models unfortunately are still under embargo, so we can't show them, but some wonderful watches, and they're launching quite early in the year. So if you're visiting us in our boutique in 155, we'll be really happy to show sort of the full collection that they're launching.
And you know, I think in common with a lot of the brands that we saw, new direction, really wearable, you know, appealing products, good price points. Overall, and I think another exciting year for Vacheron coming. And Dave, what do you think of this?
Yeah, we're on the third generation of their overseas model now. They've actually finally launched this watch in a dual time, so it can actually justifiably be called an overseas, because you can tell the time overseas when you're in another country. It's £38,300. This will be the rose gold version on strap, but it comes in on a steel on a bracelet as well also. But this is a real winner in their range, the overseas, and we'll do well with this.
We are Watches of Switzerland, and Switzerland is where most of the wonderful products that we present and sell comes from. The main exception is a small town in Germany called Glashütte, who's gone through a major development over recent decades in terms of watch manufacturing. The leading brand there is Lange Söhne, and it was the next brand that we reviewed. Very interesting brand, somewhat different in its aesthetic and appeal. Only 5,000 watches of Lange Söhne made every year, so very much a desired brand and a difficult to get one, and one that we're very happy to carry. We just have one watch to talk about on Lange, and Mark, you're going to tell us.
Yeah, it's the 1815 homage to Walter Lange, who sadly passed away at the SIHH fair in 2017. So there are three models that commemorate his life and the life of the brand. There are 29 yellow gold models, 90 rose, and 145 white gold models. They're all £40,400, and the 27, the 90, and the 145 commemorate landmarks in the life of the brand and the life of Walter Lange. The significant thing about the watch in particular is that it's got two seconds. It's a double seconds watch, so you've got the subsidiary seconds dial at 6 o'clock, which is a normal running sweeping seconds hands that you find on most automatics, and then you've got the big seconds hands, which is effectively a deadbeat seconds, which means it runs at second increments, and you can also stop the seconds. So it's a stopping deadbeat seconds, which is quite a technical feat, and it was one of Walter Lange's favourite complications, which I think one of his predecessors, Emil Lange, used to like that complication, so this is the homage to his life.
And I think, there's no doubt when you look at a Lange, it's very recognisable, and amongst those that know and love their watches, you'd recognise a Lange right away. I think the whole thing of the passing of Walter Lange clearly was a big emotional thing for the company, and really nice that they're remembering his life with this collection. We actually had the opportunity of catching up with Wilhelm Schmid, who's the CEO of Lange Sohne, and this is what he had to say.
It's a jumping second. There will always be only 262 watches, so it's a very limited production. We'll never use it again. The story is he always wanted us to do it, and we always refused to do it, because financially it's not a very, very good business case. But I think, you know, for him, the whole team was very keen and eager to do it. And believe you me, to get a whole watch, including a new movement, within 9 months, that's even a challenge as stressful for us.
Well, thank you for joining us. That's all that we have time for today. Thank you to my colleagues here for the comments. Please tune in tomorrow and Sunday, 3:30, when we'll be covering the other brands that we saw and what was a great SIHH for us overall. And also, if you have any questions, I'm sure many of you have questions out there, either about what we've presented or about Swiss watches in general. Please give us your questions. Dave Lindsay will be our expert on hand to answer those questions. You can get Dave on the Facebook Live 6 p.m. on Monday, and he'll look forward to hearing from you then. Thank you for joining us.